Today's video, I'm going to be telling you about how I edit my own cover art using PicsArt and Canva. So you want to start out by finding a picture on the internet that you want to base your art off of. I chose some trees. I wanted some nature, something colorful. So either way, it was going to be outrageous. I just knew that off rip. The picture was going to be outrageous. But I wanted to start off, so I chose some flowers. And so you find a picture on the internet. Once you find your base picture, you take it to PicsArt. So in PicsArt, I want to crop it down to the size that I need. I should have looked up the dimensions ahead of time for YouTube so that I wouldn't have had to reshape it later on in the end, which we will get to. So after cropping it, I realized that the logo is still there. Shout out to you all for the picture, but need that gone. Basically, you're going to go to the draw icon and you're going to color match the colors in the background of the words that you're going to be covering. And after you press the test tube, it will match the color in the background. You cover it up, and once you cover it up, you zoom back out and you're not even really able to tell. It looked kind of crappy when you're zoomed in, but once you zoom out, everything just kind of mixed together and it looks like one full picture and you can't even tell. I went with the black overlay because it kind of resembled the shadows in the trees behind. And so that's how I kind of covered those. And then we had the trees and the flowers were giving me a hard time. They came out looking real cartoonish once I zoomed out. So I went and I added some orange behind to show the depth and to show the shadows from underneath. The last logo on the tree all the way to the right, didn't really care to edit all that out. I'm pretty sure it was going to end up looking stupid, so I just cropped it out. It looked more symmetrical that way anyway. After that, I went through and I turned the saturation all the way up and I turned the contrast all the way down to give the picture more of a shady and translucent looking effect. Next, I go through and I add the main art that's going to have my name in it, and that's going to be the mouth, and it's going to be a mouth that's talking. So I had to go through the stickers, and I'm looking for a mouth, and I found a mouth that I felt like looked good, and I put it up there. Then you go and you hit the erase icon all the way at the top, and you just erase everything from the middle because that's going to be the basis of the picture. It's going to end up being black anyway because I'm going to build a sky out of that. So I go and I make a translucent, which now that I think about it, I really could have just left it where it was, didn't make it black. But we're not going to talk about that. So, and then I went and I changed the lip color because I knew I wanted it to be purple. Purple is my favorite color. I didn't necessarily want red. That's for the birds. After I got rid of the middle of the sky, I went and I added black in the inside of that. So once I got lips shaped how I wanted and everything was outlined, I went ahead and I started to build my sky on that black overlay. Now, you want to make sure that you're saving along the way because there are a lot of steps that go into it. So to build that sky, you're going to go back into the stickers icon and you just start looking up whatever you want inside of the mouth. So personally, I wanted to make a sky, obviously. So I looked up clouds and I looked up stars and I looked up a moon and I built a little sky inside the mouth. So I noticed that you could kind of see the black outline from the lips in comparison to the clouds. So I went in and I added, I used the draw icon again, and I went in and I added somewhat of a translucent gray looking color around the outer edges to try to mend it, but it still was kind of too bright to mend everything. So I went through and I added highlights on the clouds, so it kind of blended all together, but it also made the lips not look so standoutish with the clouds alongside. As you can see, I went through and I traded out all types of different butterflies and everything until I found what I personally wanted. Don't be afraid to switch and trade out what it is that you feel like you need until you got the look that you feel like you're going for. After that, I went back to PicsArt to confirm my dimensions before I went to Canva. And on Canva, you're actually able to put in custom dimensions. So I went and I put in the custom dimensions that I had built on PicsArt. But for future reference, I'm more than likely going to be using Canva anyway, which I should have done anyway, because I know with Canva, you can continuously move parts, whereas PicsArt, you save a whole picture. Once you save the whole picture, you cannot go back and move things. I go to Canva because I needed to add text. So I put in the custom dimensions, pull up the picture, and I go and I add my text. So after I went and I typed in my text and everything, I went, you go pick a font style, you pick a size, and I just happened to find a font that I like pretty quickly, so I went with that one. There are plenty of effects you can use. I like the halo effect, so I went with that one. I tried the whole underline thing, didn't look so well, but it's an option. Once I was finished with the actual picture itself, I had to then go in and create a background because, as I said before, I didn't look up the dimensions in advance. So the cover art needs to be extremely wide in order to fit phones, desktops, and TVs. So unfortunately, it's not big enough for that, and I wasn't going to go and remake this whole thing. Therefore, I would just make a background. And so I went and I laid it against a plain background, and I just added more stickers around it, and this is the final product. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you for watching. See you next time.